Welcome back, my dear students, for Susie's Biology. Hope you are counting your days for NEET exam 2020. And I think you all may be in attention how to revise all the portions in a very short duration. Don't worry, we are learning and revising in a very short and fleeting manner, and only with the important points to remember in exam point of view we are learning each chapter. And in the next video I am going to plan to teach you how to memorize easily. So I am going to tricks and tips for memorizing, so you can make use of it, so that it will be very helpful at this time for revision. And for new subscribers, the link of the last session is given in the description, and you can also view the other chapters in the playlist. And students, kindly make use of this channel, watch less and score more. And today let us revise the important points and the role of minerals in plant growth. So that is mineral nutrition. So the study of chemical elements, that is the minerals, it is known as plant nutrition. So these plant nutrients or minerals, they are necessary for the plant growth and their metabolic activities. And according to Julius von Salk, so he only demonstrated the importance and about the minerals. So he proposed a law, that is Liebig's law of minimum. So according to that law by Julius von Sachs-Liebig, out of 60 elements, 17 elements are essential for the plant growth, and they are categorized into two types, namely macronutrients and micronutrients according to the requirements. So macronutrients are available or needed in large amount, whereas micronutrients, they are needed in small amount. So according to Liebig's law of minimum, these 17 elements are essential for the plant growth. And he only demonstrated the technique called hydroponics. That means growing the plant in water without soil. That water contains rich supply of nutrients. So this technique of growing plants in water without the soil with the help of rich minerals, it is termed as hydroponics. Then we'll come to the role of nutrients. So the first function is balancing function. Some salts or minerals, they act against the harmful effects of other nutrients. So it can balance each other. So that is the balancing function. And the second one is they can maintain the osmotic pressure inside the cell sap. And the pH of the cell sap is also influenced by the role of the minerals. And the protoplasm and the cell wall are maintained. So for the building up of protoplasm and cell wall, minerals are essential, and these elements, they act as a biocatalyst. For example, zinc, magnesium, calcium and copper are acting as a biocatalyst, that is to accelerate the chemical reactions. And some elements like arsenic and copper, they has a toxic effect on the protoplasm. So these are the role of nutrients, and these are the essential elements needed by the plant. So it is classified into two types, namely macronutrients and micronutrients. And the first column gives the macronutrients list. So carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. So these are required in large quantities, so they are called as macronutrients. Whereas micronutrients, iron, manganese, boron, molybdenum, copper, zinc, chlorine, nickel, cobalt, sodium and silicon, these are required in small amounts. So they are known as micronutrients. So the deficient, but they are essential for the plant growth, and the deficiency, it may cause the diseases in plants. So it is given in the pictorial representation. So you can view which deficiency cause the disease. So you can remember by this diagram itself. So all the leaves are damaged with the lack of green color, and sometimes dark spots are appearing, yellow color veins. So all these are the deficiency caused by these minerals. So the first element of macronutrient is nitrogen. So it is a major constituent of proteins, nucleic acids, vitamins and hormones. And this nitrogen, it is essential for the meristem, that is actively dividing portion of the stem or root. So it is essential for the meristematic portion and the metabolically active cells. And they are available both in inorganic and organic forms. And this deficiency of nitrogen, it leads to the complete suppression of flowering. So there will be no flowering if the nitrogen is deficient, and fruiting also, and there will be impaired growth, and there is a development of anthocyanin pigmentation in stem. So you can view the nitrogen deficiency in plants. So flowering will be suppressed and impaired growth. You can view in the diagram. And the second element is phosphorus. So it is the constituent of cell membranes, proteins, nucleic acids and nucleotides, and is required for all the phosphorylation reaction, and it will boost up the fruit ripening and the root growth, and it is abundantly found in fruits and seeds. So this deficiency of phosphorus, it leads to the premature fall of leaves. Before maturing itself, the leaves will fall and they will turn into purplish or dark green in color. So you can view in the diagram. And the next one is potassium. They help in anion cation balance in the cells, and the potassium is involved in protein synthesis, and it mainly involves in opening and closing of stomata. So it is a very important point to remember. Potassium involves in opening and closing of stomata, and it is needed for the activation of many enzymes, and in the turgidity of cells it play a role, and the deficiency of potassium, it leads to mottled chlorosis. That means at the margins you can see the chlorosis, that is disappearance of the green color. And this calcium is required for the meristematic and differentiating tissues, and it is needed for the synthesis of cell wall, and mostly calcium is present in the form of calcium pectate in the middle lamella. It acts as a cement like substance. In between two cells we are having middle lamella, so calcium pectate is present in the middle lamella, and it is also needed for the formation of spindle fibers. So it regulates the metabolic activities and it activates the enzyme. So the deficiency of this calcium, it leads to localized tissue necrosis. Necrosis means cell death. So it leads to stunted plant growth and the necrotic leaf margins and curling of the leaves, and eventually the terminal buds and root tips will die. So you can see it in the diagram. The next mineral is magnesium. So it activates the enzymes of respiration and photosynthesis, and it is essential for the synthesis of DNA and RNA, and it is the important and constant of ring structure of the chlorophyll, and it maintains the ribosome structure, and it is an activator of Rubisco and peptidase enzyme. And this deficiency of magnesium, it causes intervenal chlorosis or yellowing between the leaf veins. So you can see yellow colored veins. So that is due to magnesium deficiency. And the next one is sulfur. So it is present in two amino acids, that is cysteine and methionine. They are sulfur containing amino acids, and they are the important constant of several coenzymes like biotin, thiamine, coenzyme A and ferredoxin. So all they contain sulfur. And the deficiency of this sulfur, it causes yellow or pale green coloring throughout the plant. So first you can see the sulfur is sufficient in the first image. In the second image it is slowly degrading, and the sulfur, if it is deficient, means the whole leaf it becomes yellow in color or pale green in color. So the younger leaves will suffer from chlorosis with their tips, and overall the plant will be stunted growth. So the first one is sulfur deficient plant, spotted plant. The second one is normal plant. So the first image indicates the sulfur deficiency. Then we will come to the micronutrients. So micronutrient, the first micronutrient which is needed in larger quantities is iron. So it is needed for the formation of chlorophyll. Without chlorophyll, no photosynthesis will take place. So this iron, it is an important constant of protein, and it is involved in the transfer of electrons in ferredoxins and cytochromes, and it acts as a cofactor of catalase enzyme, and this is the only micronutrient which is required in larger amount. So the deficiency of this iron causes iron chlorosis or lime chlorosis. So it starts with the yellowing of the leaves in between the dark green veins, and gives the leaves a spidery look. So the leaves will become whitish, and eventually they die back, and the entire plant will die. The next is manganese. So it activates the enzymes involved in photosynthesis and respiration, and they involved in splitting of water to liberate the oxygen during light reaction. And the deficiency causes intervenal chlorosis, that is yellow leaves with green veins, and the plant growth is also stunted or reduced. So zinc is essential for auxin synthesis. Auxin means it is a plant growth hormone. So for the auxin synthesis, zinc is a very essential element, and it is an activator of alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme, and it is essential for the synthesis of amino acid tryptophan, and for metabolism of carbohydrates and phosphorus. Zinc is very much essential. And the deficiency of the zinc, it leads to leaf discoloration, that is called as chlorosis, and also it leads to the stunted growth. And the copper, it is involved in redox reaction, that is reduction oxidation reaction, and the deficiency of copper causes exanthema disease. So the first diagram is the exanthema disease, dieback, and exanthema disease is caused by copper. So it is very important. And the next one is boron. So it is used for the uptake and utilization of calcium, and for pollen germination and cell elongation, boron is very important. And the deficiency of boron, it affects the vegetative and reproductive growth. So you can see in the second image. And the next one is molybdenum. So it is a component of nitrogenase and nitrate reductase. So it is a very important component, and these two enzymes are participating in the nitrogen fixation reaction, and the deficiency of molybdenum causes whiptail disease. And the next micronutrient is chlorine. So it is involved in water splitting reaction, in photosynthesis reaction, and the deficiency of chlorosin, it causes wilting. Wilting means dying of the plant without water, like that wilting disease. And nickel, it is essential for urease and hydrogenase enzyme. And altogether we can categorize into three types. So chlorosis is caused by the deficiency of, you can remember these things, you can frame any rhyming word or link all these things. So nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc and molybdenum, they cause chlorosis. And calcium, magnesium, copper and potassium, they cause necrosis. And the low level of nitrogen, sulfur and molybdenum, they cause delay flowering. And thank you for watching. And just go through the portion once again. If you have any doubt, means ask in the comment section. And the next session we can see about the photosynthesis very briefly with only important points. And please don't miss it. And kindly comment, share and subscribe for the full revision as the exam date is nearing. So watch less, score more, and thank you.